What's up, everybody? Happy Friday, and God bless you. I hope everybody's having a great day. Something I wanted to talk about. A couple people have brought up, one of my friends and I were talking about earlier today, love and feelings. So, I think it's a pretty easy one. I can detach from feelings pretty easy, so I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I also do have a lot of them, and I went through a lot growing up experiencing the full spectrum of feelings, and so, part of the journey. But one of the things that a couple people, even in kinship group, brought up was, sometimes they're not feeling it, or like God's not there. It's pretty simple for me, especially coming from, addiction and stuff like that, is God's not a drug. And if you ran to God every time you had a problem and it was just like warm, fuzzy feelings and etc., like, that doesn't, like, it makes it ingenuine. You know what I mean? He'd become another feel-good drug thing, and that's, detaching from this, from the body, is kind of the goal here, because this thing will deceive you. Love is not a feeling, it's a choice, it's actions. Look at Corinthians, and love is patient, love is kind, and absolutely, like, anybody who's been married for a long time or has kids, I mean, hell, we all have family, and it's like, sometimes you just cannot stand people, but you love them, you have to, like, love is an action. God feels obviously the exact same way. He's kind of the one that implemented the program. So that's the thing. Every time you run to God, it may not be a warm, fuzzy feeling. You can bet that God has your best interest in mind in all of it, and God's the Father. And any parent will tell you, sometimes the tough choices have to be made for the benefit of your children. And that's God all day, every day. That's why we have kids and families, and why we do this every, like, generational routine thing. It's an example. Like, it's exactly what God did to us, and then, that's why He's the Father, and, like, the verbiage and all of it makes complete sense. It's just we're so diluted with slang and all these other things, and, all these extra words and stuff, and it's like, oh, I can't understand the Bible, I can't read it. It's like, do you think that's by coincidence that you can't understand? Most people can't understand the Bible. I don't think it's by coincidence at all. There's a lot of funny things like that, like linen clothes. I think I've mentioned that before. Like, Jesus wore linen, and we're not supposed to cross fabrics, and people are like, oh, that's some, like, hippie weirdo Christian stuff. No, it actually has, like, a scientific, like, weight to it too. If you dabble in frequency or any kind of stuff like that, like, cotton and linen both have frequencies that are actually really good for you. They're healthy. But if you put them together, they cross one another out. And it's like, only God would know to put that in the Bible, And here we are later, like, trying to disprove God with science, and God's like, bet. So it's cool watching that all unfold. But anyways, getting back to the feelings part of it. So loved ones and stuff like that, like people that are struggling, or that you feel like you're losing, or that you feel like don't love you, whatever. Here's one really cool thing that really got me through a lot of stuff, like God showed me. When it comes to human beings, because I struggle a lot with that, as I'm sure a lot of you do, are like, I just cannot stand people. Demon possession and stuff is very real. It's not always the Exorcist type head spinning, throwing up crazy stuff. Demon possession could come in subtle ways, like adultery, or throwing a punch, or, people see red, things that, I mean, it's very real. It happens all the time. Outside of that, because anybody can fall victim to that, I think that's where the apple came in, and, exposed us to sin and stuff like that, and so we're susceptible to those things. But that's kind of the beauty in that. I lost my train of thought there for a second, but so sin is obvious. Damn it. Sorry, just remember my train of thought. So, demon possession is very real, obviously, yes. But if you really want to know who a person is, think about the coolest, most selfless, kindest thing that person has ever done. Like the most out of self thing that you can think of that you've bared witness to that person doing. That's who they are. That's who that person is deep on the core, on the inside. We're constantly in spiritual warfare, but I can tell you that the most beautiful thing that you've seen a person do is who they are. That's the child of God. That's who they are, who they were meant to be. So anytime you start to struggle with somebody or lose faith in them, just think back to the best thing you can think about them. That's who resides in that body. But again, demons are very real, and they like to hop in and out of people and make us do wild stuff. And obviously drugs and alcohol lower those defenses and make you way more susceptible to that. Hence why when people get drunk, like he'd never do that when he was sober, or she'd never do that when she was sober and stuff. And it's like, well, yeah, because they're literally possessed by demons. So, anyways, that's a whole topic for another thing. But the feelings of God, I get wrapped up with the Holy Spirit sometimes and I'll cry. Like, it's so heavy. I feel like the burden of people not repenting and living in sin, like when the Holy Spirit really gets in my soul, it's like I feel that burden. It's just like, oh, all these unsaved souls. And it's not sadness, it's different, it's unexplainable. Like, you have to have felt it to know. And I know a lot of you know what I'm talking about, but it's like a motivational upsetness. Like, I'll coin a phrase for it at some point. But yeah, it's motivating, but it's again, I don't get that all the time. Like, it's rare, it's hit and miss, and that's kind of the thing, is life is a balance. It's yin and yang, black and white, whatever you want to talk. Like, you know, thing with sin, like, devil did not create sin, Satan did not make sin, like, God didn't create sin either. Sin is a byproduct of free will. Just like when you have matter, you have antimatter, and like there's an opposition to everything. It's the law that God created. It's kind of like the glue that holds this whole thing together. And being here in this experience, what I call God's guest house, is to see that. Like, hey, there's good and there's bad. Like, that's it. When you start aligning with the good things start happening to you. And, you know, when people say things like, well, you can manifest your reality or whatever, and blah, 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 that is not true. It is a basic psychology that's been twisted to make you believe you have control, when that's not the case at all. It's like when your friend buys a new car, a blue Toyota, and then you drive around and you're like, man, there's that blue Toyota, there's another one, oh, there's another. It's the law of attraction, and it's what you're putting in your mind, and that's what it is whatever you're focused on is what you're going to gravitate towards, what you're going to see, what you're going to pick out. So if you're always gravitating towards the negative stuff, your life is probably going to be pretty negative. So yeah, I mean, that's the same thing with feelings and love and all that too. Like, that all directly is just how you choose to see things, perspective. And real quick before I wrap it up, you know, the love thing is, as far as the feelings are concerned, and how, you know, anybody who's been married will tell you it's a choice. I've talked to a few of my exes that I've been with for years, and it's like, we didn't work or see eye to eye, or we hated each other for a minute, but it's like, yeah, we did love one another at some point. So, you know, the feelings just aren't valid. It's not there. It's just like, that was kind of the point I was getting at, is that you have to focus on those times. Remember the fuzzy feelings. Remember the love. And so in that aspect, like, that to me proves that, like, don't trust your feelings. The fact that they don't just come back to you, whatever, like, I have to remember the last time I was crying with the Holy Spirit. Like, I'm having doubts about the Lord. Like, am I just crazy? Is this, and I have to check myself. Well, remember that time you wept for the Lord? And it's like, no, I don't think we should be trusting this thing at all. And especially when all it means to do is harm you. So it doesn't go with you when you die. So all it wants to do is live in comfort and sin and pleasure, and yeah. So don't trust your feelings. Don't trust your body. Next time you're comfortable, just remember, nothing grows in comfort. And peace and comfort are two completely different things. So dwell on that little topic for a minute. Remember, God's not just a fuzzy feeling. So next time you don't feel the Lord, remember, the Holy Spirit demands sacrifice in blood, hard work, discipline, atonement, and things of that nature. And those are the things that bring joy to your life the more that you do them. It's like being tired is a byproduct of success. You're never going to get over being tired. You're either going to adapt to the feeling of being tired, because it's what you're always going to be, or you're just not going to be successful, or whatever it is, the thing that you're trying to achieve. But I think you get what I'm putting down there. Yeah. Keep this thing in check. So that's all I got for you guys. Love you. God bless you. Have a great rest of your day. And until the next time.